All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I am your host, Tom Vays, coming to you live on this crazy weekend. This has been the craziest week I remember. This reminds me of the '08 financial crisis, to be honest with you, with how much news is breaking out. Only this time it is half political, it is half financial. Well, a third political, a third financial. And now a third crypto. Like back then, it was all financial. But now, I'm not saying like the financial crisis is back like '08. I'm just saying that you can't keep up with the news. Though back in '08, it was all centered around traditional banking and finance. But now it is all over the place. There's like 5 different political major situations going on. All this financial news, and now it has completely engulfed the crypto space. I only have about 20 minutes. I got to go and get a much needed haircut. And then we have spaces coming up at 1 p.m. I'm actually going to go see Joe Saz as well. So he'll probably join me on spaces because the time is conflicting between the two. So without any further ado, we're going to go to the charts. I'm going to try to explain the well, Silvergate is now old news. Like this is how fast we're moving. No one cares about Silvergate anymore. It's all about Silicon Valley Bank. And Silicon Valley Bank is apparently super important. Like I barely knew about Silicon Valley Bank, but I've been more than briefed on the situation. Was just in Spaces, Mario Spaces, with like 10,000 people. Simon Dixon knows what he's talking about, and several others as well. Mark Lombardi. So it was really great. Where do we begin? Let's begin with the charts as always. Feel free to throw in your questions. Like I said, it's going to be a quick 20-minute stream, and then join us in spaces. We're going to probably talk for at least an hour, probably 2, at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That is exactly 3 hours from now. In 3 hours from now, join us in spaces on Twitter, the Financial Summit Twitter space. Okay, here we go with the charts. Man, I hope I have time to open a pack. Got 3 packs left. Okay. We should be on screen share. Okay. So here's the weekly chart. I'm finally streaming in high definition, by the way. Here's the weekly chart. We did bounce off of some support levels. A new week is going to start tomorrow night. So we will see. I am actually optimistic that we will hold this level. I am still optimistic until it proves to me that it can't hold that level. I will see this as a very high probability buy the dip. Am I buying the dip? Potentially on Monday or Tuesday. I got to see what it looks like on Monday or Tuesday when the week opens, how the stock market opens, what kind of contagion the Silicon Valley Bank will have across the entire landscape of the United States. There's just so much to say about what's going on. I'll try to do it over spaces. I had no idea how important Silicon Valley Bank was. It literally is the bank of Silicon Valley for all tech startups. If this issue with the bank run on Silicon Valley Bank is not resolved immediately, quickly, probably, I don't know how many, between 30 and like 100 startups are going to go down, like early tech startups. They will not be able to meet their payrolls. This is, of course, great for the big tech companies, just like the shutting down of your mom and pop shop was great for Amazon during the government-enforced lockdown for no reason whatsoever. So this is good for the big tech companies, disaster for the small tech companies, and disaster for the United States as a whole. This is a security risk for the entire United States. This could be a 6-hour conversation. I'll talk more about this on Monday when I do a much longer stream. Oh man, actually on Monday I'm busy as hell. But I'll try to do it at some point. And can't believe all this news is breaking out. And next week I have very little free time. I have just all these commitments. So That kind of sucks. But there are certain elements. I don't have time to go pull up my presentation from Brics versus G7. G7 is completely screwed. I talked about this, I think, on a show with Nico. The only competitive advantage the G7 has, and within the G7, it's 90% the United States. The only competitive advantage the G7, which is the West, that includes Japan, so it's not like West-West, is innovation and freedom to innovate and having the capital to innovate that freedom. It's the only advantage that the West has. If you put like the 10 most important things for a country to be a superpower, that is one of the 10. China, Russia, and India combined have huge dominance over the other 9. The only thing that the United States has as a competitive advantage over China, India, and Russia combined. They have other advantages over China. They have other advantages over America. They have other advantages over India. When you combine cheap and free, if you combine economic coordination between China, Russia, and India, we can stick Brazil in there as well. They are outcompeting the United States on everything, absolutely everything, from military to natural resources to farming to like feeding their population to age demographics, absolutely everything. The only way America can compete is with startups, innovation, and freedom to think and innovate and think out of the box. Silicon Valley Bank provides the capital for all of that. And if that bank goes down and innovation leaves America, America's done. You can speed up that timeline of me saying America's done. So this is super, super important. Okay, back to the charts. I think this is a very high probability low for Bitcoin, because while everything is crashing and burning, including USDC and including shitcoins and including stable coins and including the banking system, the most safe asset, the one asset that makes me sleep at night better is Bitcoin. Okay, not Bitcoin at the bank, knowing that your private key is safe. Okay, and this is why there is a high probability chance that this MRI buy right there on the daily chart, we can look back at this in a few years and say, wow, this was probably the best and most confident buy the dip we had, because honestly, this entire area here did not give me a clean buying opportunity. This did. Even the buying opportunity back here in early February, I didn't like the structure. I just can't find anything from a TA perspective. Of course, it's scary from a, it's very, very scary to buy this dip from the fundamental perspective. Everything is crashing and burning. I'm using the opposite backdrop, and it's not the one with all the fire. But this candle reminds me so much of a candle. What year was it? I think it was in 2017. This is going to be challenging to do on live air. I think there was a candle in 2017. And if you go to my Twitter, from the 2017 Twitter, like I've tweeted like tens of thousands of times, there was a candle in 2017. Wasn't that one? Oh, man. Am I going to be able to find it on live air? Yeah, right here, this. It reminds me so much of this, of what happened here. I don't actually remember what happened here, but I tweeted about this so many times. There was a descending triangle. There are tweets talking about this. There was a beautiful descending triangle here. We broke the triangle. We back tested the triangle and we crashed. And this is the index. I don't remember which exchange I was looking at back then. It might have been Bitfinex, it might have been Bitstamp, whichever was the more liquid exchange at the time. And I don't remember if the MRI buy was on this candle or on this candle. But either way, this was huge fear in the market, huge fear in the market. And then we instantly rebounded back to new highs. The current situation reminds me of this, where we were already in the bull run and everyone started getting bullish, and then everybody got bearish, and then it just reversed on an MRI buy on a dime right there. Tone, you always looked at Bitstamp back in the day. Thank you, Fabio, for remembering. So, and it bounced off the same 128-day moving average, which we are once again in front of. And if I drop all the annotation and even drop the MRI, you can see how useful that 128-day moving average has always been. Yeah, it broke during COVID, but COVID broke a lot of, stuff. You can see that it was initially support back in April 2021. Then it broke. It was initially it wasn't initially, well, it was sort of initially resistance as well. Then it was support. Then we broke it for a smidge, but it was basically resistance, or the next moving average was. And here it was resistance again, and now it's being support again. I had to sneeze, but muted in time. So I am also really liking this TA. Someone just said they're liking this TA. Man, this MRI buy, the doji, the hammer candle, the moving averages, the potential bullish cross, man, the TA to buy this dip is almost too perfect. It's almost too perfect, and then you start to second guess yourself whether it is too perfect. I'm not an expert at alphanumerics, but I'm gonna have Matt on the show. But I do know this green diamond is great. And Matt, I know you're not watching because you're in Australia, and you got to come on the show because you have a great indicator. And he presented at the last financial summit, and I would like for him to come on the show. He'll probably come on the Financial Summit YouTube channel, which is going to get rolling soon. But hey, Doug Scribner's on. Please don't give me shit about not doing push-ups. We have like a private group where we have to write down how many push-ups or what kind of workout you had every morning. And I started, and now I've been slacking for a few weeks. So now I'm going to be sore as hell when I come back to it. And the TA looks great. The TA looks absolutely great. Man. All right, anyway. I haven't really talked about USDC. A green star candle on the hourly chart. The hourly chart looks bullish. But the 4-hour chart does not look bullish yet. Let me see if there was an MRI buy here. No, not really. I think I saw this yesterday as well. Which green diamond? Well, the one right here. There's a green diamond. Let me drop MRI and other stuff. Right there. But like I said, I saw the presentation on the indicator. I really, really liked it. But I honestly, but it was the financial summit was a while ago, and I don't remember exactly how to use each part of the indicator. But yeah, I think the green diamond means overbought. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know he always points them out. There was one right there as well. But anyway, like I said, I can't talk about an indicator I'm not an expert on. That's why I need to have him on the show. This situation is actually making me super bullish. I know that a lot of like potentially Bitcoin miners will get hurt by this. A lot of Bitcoin startups will get hurt by this. This was their banking, but Bitcoin itself, I think, will benefit from this. We'll see what happens with Grayscale. Why hasn't Bitcoin pumped to 30 yet? That's a good question. I don't know. We can look at, I don't have the charts of USDC up. I have charts of like Tether up. Tether is doing fine. Everyone's rushing into Tether. Where did silver close? Like I said, I have some deals for silver this weekend. The deal was planned like weeks ago, right? The deal was planned. I was hoping, oh, it's a monthly chart. Deals were planned a while ago, was like back here. And I'm like, oh, maybe silver will rebound. I'll get to sell it for like $22, $23. Nope. But at least it rallied on Friday. Cool. So about 2050 will be the price. All right, let's look at the Silicon Valley Bank chart. I don't know what kind of contagion this is going to have for the broader stock market. I think the market's going to take a dive a little bit. And the Fed is having a closed door meeting about this. I think we should be priced in for a 25 basis point rate hike. I just don't see it going any oh wow, it now flipped back to 50 basis points. Oh my god. I think this is going to flip back to 25 basis points on Monday. I think this thing is this is wild. This was 70 at 25 basis points yesterday. And now it flipped to 70. Sorry, not yesterday, Friday morning. So by Friday night, it flipped to 70%, 50 basis points. And on Monday, I think this thing is going to be 90%, 25 basis points. I think the Fed's going to be scared to raise the rate any further because one of the minor reasons, not major reasons, one of the minor reasons the bank's going down is because the interest rate's going up so fast. And I didn't even consider the damage that the quick rise in interest rates would do to the private sector. I was only looking at it from the perspective of government debt. I wasn't even looking at it from the perspective of these small banks that have bought these longer-term maturity securities that are now losing money hand over fist. And there's also rumors that Moody's was going to downgrade Silicon Valley Bank. And some of the bigger VCs knew that was going to happen, so they pulled their money out. They told their like someone always knows, right? There's someone always knows proprietary private information, and then those VCs told the companies that they backed to pull their money out, and there was suddenly a run on the bank of Silicon Valley Bank, whose main priority is it to provide funding and banking services for startups. For tech startups, again, the only competitive advantage the United States has over China, Russia, India, and Brazil combined. South Africa is a basket case, so that don't matter. You know what? Maybe I will do it. I'm about to dox a bunch of stuff, but that's okay. Maybe I shouldn't have told you guys. But anyway, it's all public information. Tone Vays on Prezi. Okay, so these are all the presentations I have ever done. They are actually all public. All my presentations are public, they're available, but the thing is, all my presentations are pictures. So who cares? They're just pictures. It's what I say to go along with the pictures that matters. Okay. Looking at pictures doesn't do much for you. It's my explanation of those pictures that matters. So the multi-year investment outlook, this presentation does not exist in English. This presentation only exists in Russian. And in this presentation, and the reason why this is important, and this presentation is now several months old. Ignore that. That's also going to be in Russian. And that's why you see the text in Russian. It's not that long a presentation. I don't know why it's taking so long to... Here we go. Hey, Jimmy, that's your ranch right there. Jimmy, I think you might be watching. Jimmy G, that's your ranch in Mexico. I think I'll be living there one day. At least that's the plan. Okay, here we go. We loaded the presentation. So lots of things going on here. Muzz, your Lightning Ventures is in this presentation as well. Man, where the hell am I going? I'm going here. When I was comparing the Brics to I'll just do it this way. It'll be better. Here we go. Brics to the United States, Brics to the G7. Okay, so Brics versus the G7 combined, and even from a military perspective. See, here's the problem: Western-style liberal democracy is on a major retreat all over the world, including the U.S. So here are really, really, really important elements of where the Brics are dominating the G7 countries, the Western countries. Energy, rare earth metals, food grains, research and development. Yes, research and development. China is leading there. Cheap goods, efficient mass production, tech talent, global fertilizer, which is super important, young English-speaking skilled labor, cyber, military, and space technology. Again, Russia and China are leading the United States in these departments. The only major pillar that lacks is the young, creative talent to develop the future economy. They will never have that in an autocratic command and control system. They produce armies of worker bees, but not the out-of-the-box thinkers and rebels. This is why the United States remains the world superpower and the world reserve currency. It is literally that. That's it. There is nothing else. It's not the petrodollar. It's nothing else. It is literally this. It's the productive young brain talent to innovate and think out the box. That is it. And this is why I was a Trump supporter, because he promotes that, while the current administration does not promote that. They are globalists. They are on the World Economic Forum, which is also an autocratic, totalitarian, Marxist structure. Okay, now, the reason why these tech startups need these kinds of banking services that Silicon Valley Bank was providing is because of this. It is the only competitive advantage the United States has over the Brics, because the future of the world actually looks like this. Okay, everything in red will be Russia, China, India supported. And everything in blue is what remains and what is going to be collapsing. Korea is light blue because South Korea may end up, switching sides earlier than others. And then the really important countries are Turkey and Hungary, because they are likely to be the first to get the hell out of NATO, get the hell out of the European, Hungary is in the European Union, and they might be the first to get out from that mess. And Serbia would be a close second. And Serbia would be a close second. And Turkey would be the first one to potentially get out of the NATO mess. And this is it. That's all the West will get stuck with. I left Venezuela in yellow. They're being friends with US right now. We'll see where that goes. And I also discussed how Iran and Saudi Arabia are going to be buddies, not starting a war with each other. Everyone thinks that there is a big conflict between the Shia and the Sunni. Saudi Arabia is Sunni. Iran is Shia. Lots of people thought that this is going to be the big start of the war. Meanwhile, no, they're making economic deals together, and they're both don't like the US. I mean, one doesn't like the US more than the other, but they both don't like the US. And the reason why Israel is staying completely out of the Ukraine mess and not sending a single, forget sending them a single bullet, they're not even sending them gunpowder for a bullet, because Israel needs to be besties with Russia in order to keep Iran from wiping them out when they eventually acquire, nuclear weapons. So And Russia will be brokering peace between Iran and Israel, while China is brokering peace, and Russia are both brokering peace between Saudi Arabia and Iran. What does this have to do with crypto? Well, that's a good question. Let's go back to that. I got 60 seconds, and then I got to leave. But I got to do this presentation in English. Indonesia, by the way, is a huge wild card. Indonesia is super important because Indonesia has what, the sixth strongest, I think, GDP per capita or something like that. Sorry, I forgot the metric. It's also early on a Saturday. But from one of the GDP metrics, Indonesia is super, super critical. And Indonesia has not yet picked a side. They're a bit of a wild card. I think they'll join the East, not the West. All right, let's get out of this. So also really important, it's in the video description. Go and watch the FDIC meeting from November. I don't think these guys knew they were being recorded, or they must have thought that the video would be burned, because they're literally laughing at how unsafe the banking system is. And they're like saying, like, if only the average person knew how unsafe it is to keep your money in the bank. Like, and this is the FDIC committee. Like, this is, it's insane. I've seen clips from this on Twitter. I have not yet watched this. I have this in the queue. I have the 6-hour Twitter from like a month ago, the Twitter Senate hearings in the queue. I have the Matt Taibbi Twitter files committee in the queue. And there's one more, the Oil Strategic Reserve, because I talk about the Oil Strategic Reserve every day. There was a committee hearing on that. So I have no idea when I'm going to watch all this shit. Like, news is breaking so fast, it's out of control. Do we look at the USDC chart? How do you, like, hold on. USDC to USD. USDC, USD on Gemini. Shouldn't it be on, I don't know if Circle isn't sharing. Whoa. Okay. So this is the worst it's been. I guess it hasn't been around for a while. Like, where's the longest data? That's the problem. Binance US, Kraken. Kraken should have the longest data. Kraken, there it is. There, I mean, it's whipped down there before. But now, but that's a weekly. On a daily scale. It's wicked down there before real quick. I don't know if that's a data error or not. Maybe there's a better metric we can look at. We can look at a weekly line chart or a daily line chart. That would be better. Yeah, because this covers the close of day. So this would be, I guess, a better way to look at it. And the other way to look at it is as a ratio, USDC versus USDT. Because USDT could also be in trouble. But I have so many old charts of USDT. We're gonna go through that. But the reason for this is because Silicon Valley Bank was the bank of Circle, and Circle is the company that makes USDC, and USDC, I believe, was like $40 billion, right? CoinGecko. I gotta run. Oh wow, I'm super late. USDC, where the hell is USDC? There it is. Yeah, 37 billion. I think it was 40 billion. They just lost a huge chunk of their market cap. And like 25% of that money is being held at 25% or like 5 or 10%, I don't know, but a big chunk of their money is being held at Silicon Valley Bank. They were the banking services for USDC. So they're holding money there, and or I think 3.3 billion, but there are tweets all about that. Anyway, guys, I gotta run. I need to go get that haircut and stop by and say hi to Joe. So join us in a Financial Summit Twitter Spaces at 1 p.m. Eastern in 1.5 hours. We will be speaking about all of this in Spaces, hopefully with some very smart people. It's right here. I already retweeted it. I might retweet it again. Come and join us, ask questions. If you have an expertise in the field, please comment. But this is going to be the place to discuss all of this. All right, guys, talk to you all over in Spaces. Bye, guys. No time for pack. No time for a pack. Monday. We'll wait till Monday.